Last night, without planning to, without any coordination at all, Rachel Maddow delivered what turns out to be the perfect introduction of our next guest.
He has succeeded in making national headlines as the Republican Senate candidate for Wisconsin. That's not necessarily an easy thing to do. But again, the problem is that he's made those headlines for things like this.
Well, if you're in a nursing home, you only have 5-6 month life expectancy. Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
Now, I am no political expert, but even someone who has never heard of the United States Senate before could probably suss out that that's probably not a great political strategy. Yeah, old people shouldn't vote. Old people in nursing homes, they shouldn't be allowed. Most nursing home residents not at a point to vote. After that made headlines across Wisconsin and indeed across the country, Mr. Hovde tried to make this all go away as a news story, but he did it again as if this was an episode of Veep. Quote, in recent days, Mr. Hovde has tried to clarify his comments. This week, he reiterated his belief that, quote, a large percentage of nursing home residents, quote, are not in the mental capacity to vote. Now, that's cleaning it up. Now, when I said old people in nursing homes shouldn't be allowed to vote, everybody made that sound so bad. Let me clarify. What I meant was that a large percentage of old people in nursing homes shouldn't be allowed to vote because they don't have the mental capacity for it. There. Is that better?
And joining us now, Eric Hovde's Democratic opponent in the Senate campaign, Wisconsin's Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin. Senator, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It seemed Rachel,
thank you.
Rachel summed that one up rather neatly, I thought.
Yes, the last time I was on your show, Lawrence, I got to tell you the story of my own grandmother who broke her hip at age 90, went to a nursing home, and got the opportunity to cast a vote to send her granddaughter to the United States Congress. It is such an insult to hear his disparaging words about seniors and his disparaging words about so many others. You know, his insistence that we should repeal the Affordable Care Act in its entirety. You know, when I was 9 years old, I had a serious childhood illness. I was labeled with those terrifying words, pre-existing condition, like half of all Americans. But because of the Affordable Care Act, when we told insurance companies you can no longer discriminate because somebody's been sick in the past, we have millions now who are able to attain health insurance. Eric Hovde not only wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act in its entirety, he wants to slash Medicare, raise the retirement age, all of which should concern not only seniors, but all Wisconsinites. I remind viewers that when Donald Trump was last president, we came within one vote of losing the Affordable Care Act. If Eric Hovde were to defeat me and Donald Trump were to be reelected, we probably wouldn't have the Affordable Care Act anymore and all the protections that it guarantees. And so if your viewers want to help me fight back, please go to TammyBaldwin.com and help me do that.
Eric Hovde said that he is opposed to every single provision in the Affordable Care Act. When he was asked about it, he was specifically asked, what about that provision that allows people to keep their kids on their policies until they're 26? He said, nope, I hate everything about it.
You know, that was the provision I authored in the Affordable Care Act when I was in the House of Representatives on a panel that was writing the act. And I have been so heartwarmed to see how many young people, it used to be the demographic in our country with the least insurance. You exit from high school, go right into a job. That job probably doesn't offer health insurance. And so when you can stay on your parents' health insurance until you turn 26, it gives you a running start. And it provides health care to millions who would not otherwise have it. And we have to fight to keep the Affordable Care Act. We have to build upon it, frankly, as Democrats have been. But we can't let somebody who wants to slash away people's affordable health care anywhere near the floor of the United States Senate.
Senator Tammy Baldwin, when I saw Rachel presenting your opponent last night on her program, I thought, got to hear from you tonight. Thank you very much for joining us.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.